EACC wako busy.
Wako very busy.
Wako very busy. Wako very busy. Wakae busy hivyo, sisi tukifanya online trading. Because,
starting now.
Starting now. Because here we are with Robin. Robin, karibu sana.
Asante.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
You're the people who are making money just by sitting somewhere. Or at least you know people.
Well, yes.
Yes. At least you know people who are, that's all they're doing. They sit, they say we're making money, and they're actually making money. Robin is a finance professional with at least 8 years of experience in global markets, financial analysis, and brokerage, specializing in online trading, modeling, and B2B. And he has worked in this space for years. And that's why we said, come, because you understand the law, and you understand the practice, and then you also understand the peculiar habits of Kenyans.
Yes.
Being a Kenyan yourself.
Yes.
There's something that we want to do, though. A small one. This girl, she's called Good Girl Jano.
Okay.
And Good Girl Jano is also called Jano Amakot.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you know that?
Yes.
Ushasikia hiyo Jano Amakot.
Chinua Chebe wapi?
Education on quotes.
Yes. Now today, she's got an interesting quote. This one you don't even need to give us hints.
No hints. We've not even unpacked it. But we unpacked a lot in the last hour. In fact, we need to decompress. But there comes a time when the nation is more important than an individual. Who said that?
Kenyan?
Yes, Kenyan.
Wow. Wild guess. Asno Kibaki. Could be Saitoti.
Yeah.
Boom.
There come a time. There come a time when the nation is more important than the individual. That's what he said.
He mumbled a bit there. The video is there. I wish I'd asked Wangeshi to have that video. We could play out with it. But yes, that's
this was
exactly
at Kasarani.
Yes.
And this was the moment when he was actually losing his position as the national vice chairman of the ruling party then, KANU. At the point of the merger between KANU and LDP, Raila Odinga and his people are coming in, and Moi is therefore now democratizing this giant party called KANU. And instead of having one position of vice chair, we're going to have 4 positions of vice chair. And we'll have Raila as the man coming in as the secretary general of the party, and one of LDP people to be one of the vice chairpersons of KANU, and Kina Kalonzo and Kina, what was his name, Katanangala, and the others became. So I thought it was like, you know what, fanyeni hivi, chama ni sawa, sitapigania.
But wacha na hii.
Sitapigania mpenzi anitaki.
Great history there.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think those words make sense to you today?
Actually, every day. Because as a Kenyan, it's like a battle every day, to be yourself, and also to be there for other people. And what we do in my space is more about empowering other Kenyans. Are we able to elevate, Kenyans? It's not just about me, there's a wider, audience to this. So I think I'll need to write it and, keep affirming myself with that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Every day you look in the mirror.
Today is the day.
Right.
When the nation is more important than me.
Yeah.
Ask not.
What the nation can do for you.
Yeah.
What you can do for your nation. Hey, Robin.
Hey.
I have an ask, Robin.
All right.
Ningependa kuomoka. By next month, I would like to be driving a Mercedes GLE.
Okay.
I'm at 0 right now, so we're starting from 0.
Okay.
Ningependa kupop champagne na kuosha watu mkono nayo in the club as I enjoy myself. And I've heard that online trading is the way to go. Teach me.
Oh, no. So online trading would not be the place. We could...
Killed it on arrival. Dead on arrival.
The fact that you look so serious, you're like, listen, I have goals.
Yeah. We need to find out, what things like, a hat would do, in the market or something like that, organs, but not online trading.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
He said, go
selling a bit
sell
of...
your organs.
Yeah.
Okay, not online trading.
Don't try this at home.
Don't try this at home.
Okay,
Really?
I have to go back and retreat.
But really? Valid. What Mariam has asked, what Eric is just asking.
Really? That's not the impression we are getting. from the people we're seeing bragging on social media.
But how many people are bragging about Forex on social media? There are not as many.
There's many.
Uh-huh.
And many still in communities, right? They may not bring it to social media, but...
When you look at the market, or the entire actually audience who do online trading, we're in hundreds of thousands, all right? And the characters maybe on social media, just 10, 20, you know. And I think they deserve what they do, because when you get to online trading, you also realize that it's one place where, you know, you see immediate results. So unlike many of other things, I won't go to government, but, you know, immediate results in the fact that it could be stressful, couple of hours, and you're out, and then you make merry.
Right.
Most of them are young, but these are practices that have been done by even the older generation. I have quite a number of clients who are actually above, you know, 40, 50 years who still do, who are very good at this. So it's a lifestyle thing.
What is it?
So online
What
trading.
is this thing? Mnauza nini?
Online trading is also, as a part of fixing the nation, you also need to fix what online trading is.
Yeah.
Because we've always thought, or has always come out as online trading is just Forex trading. While Forex is just a component of online trading, we have various many other financial instruments that you can be able to, you know, interact with on the online trading space. And you use platforms to access these markets. And these platforms are given by licensed institutions who we call brokerage firms. So they're licensed with a license called Online Forex Trading Brokerage. Other terms that come is something like non-dealing. You know, you're given a license for online non-dealing. All right, that means that you're simply giving a platform to your clients, and you're not trading on their behalf.
Okay.
So when you go to the platform, is that you face hundreds of assets. Say, Forex is one of them with, say, over 60 currency pairs. But you go to other asset classes that we call commodities. So commodities are the soft commodities like coffee, cocoa, soybean, you know, and all that. You find metals. Kenyans are good lovers of gold, silver, you know, platinum, palladium. You find shares, you know. You find other very interesting instruments like futures, like ETFs. All these are financial markets that are available in the online trading space. So what matters is what is your interest. Now, Forex is what is always talked about because, you know, people have an idea of it because you've all maybe done some foreign exchange at some point, either when you're traveling, you know, or, you know, when you're shipping in things, or, you know, when you're shipping out stuff. You know, we've all had that conversation. So it becomes more relatable, you know. I would say for you, probably, you'll understand, you might lean more on investments or into markets that you understand more. Forex might not be it. Probably, you know, could be a stock in maybe one of the cable channels, you know, such platforms where you've interest, you know, you understand. Oil is a commodity that is greatly traded around the world, you know.
Yeah. Is Forex... So you've talked about online trading, so I'm trying to be careful not to specify. Maybe for this case, it's Forex. There's a sense that it's shrouded in secrecy, because I think what we're trying to do on this platform is just demystify. It's not to point fingers or to say it's a scam or scheme. It's to just try and interrogate. But there is a sense people say it's shrouded in a bit of secrecy. It's almost like an exclusive club. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And why?
That's the inception of it. So mostly this was built for, you know, big financial entities. These were banks, corporate institutions. And for them, they used FX, you know, not just for speculative purposes, but as well for settlement purposes. And back in the day when, before the retail market got into this, you needed at least $100,000 to transact. And that's, you know, cash exchange. You know, and in this point, either it's for speculative purposes or it's for settlement purposes, for example. So this was a game for banks and, you know, I'd say super high net worth individuals. But now came in, you know, brokerage firms who are now able to open this up to individuals like you and me, whereby all of a sudden you don't need the $100,000. You can actually say start with $1,000 or even less, and you get the same exposure. I would say for us, it still seems hidden because of information. Like, yes, Kenyans were very quick in getting information, but I would say this has greatly been impactful in the last, say, 6 years. Once we started the regulations, and there's many conversations have happened across the time. So slowly, we're moving away from the secrecy of it and opening it up to everyone. Trading is not for everyone as well. So those who have the edge and the ability, to understand markets, analyze and do that, they have an opportunity now to go and invest and trade.
If I don't have the edge, but I have the interest.
Very nice, because interest actually is what matters most, because you learn and you make that edge for yourself by learning, by continuously growing in that space. More information, you make mistakes, you learn, you unlearn, you relearn, and all that.
Okay, and how do I make sure I'm not going down a rabbit hole, or I'm learning and relearning and I'm excited, but do I know where the danger lies? How can I pick up on the red flags? Since we're using red flags and green flags,
Very nice.
How can I know if I'm going into some uncharted waters that I shouldn't be in?
That's a very nice question, because it starts from the onset. Who are you dealing with? And that is where the law comes in, and that is where regulations come in. So we're lucky that Capital Markets Authority, or CMA, adopted this also from a point where there are a lot of frustrations from clients who have the information, who have the know-how, who can be able to actually, send money offshore to unregulated companies, and they would always deal with cases of people going to them to report, there's this and this company that did this and that, but it's not in our jurisdiction.
They're not in Kenya.
They're not in Kenya.
Right.
So it starts from regulation, understanding who are you dealing with, because once you're licensed, you're mandated to offer asset classes that are actually within the regulation. Say, for example, there's a very big. There have so many products out there or assets out there that are not regulated in Kenya, and they're not regulated for a main reason that we cannot determine, what is the underlying asset for this, for example. So where the government understands, where CMA understands, they can actually back this because it's regulated elsewhere. Now they can adopt it. And that is why maybe even the conversation around crypto is still, there in their heads, and they're still speaking about it because, it's something that is there and it will continue to be there. But how do they support Kenyans in making sure that they work in a very regulated
In a safe
space?
area. I want to step back.
Yeah.
A couple of things that you've said so far. So number one, online trading is broad. It's
Yes.
not just Forex.
Yes.
It is in what now you called assets. It's trading online using tech
Yeah.
on various assets.
Yes.
You could be trading in shares, just like we know shares at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, but online.
Yes.
That is still online trading. You could be trading in Forex, various foreign currencies.
Yes.
That is online. Or you could be looking at like precious metals, like you said, kina gold, silver,
Yeah.
or commodities like oil and big things like beans
Yes.
and rice. Yeah? And what's it that we get from Ukraine?
Wheat.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or futures. Now, futures is where you are speculating about the future price of something now and you fix it.
Yes. Yes. So
Okay.
yeah.
So all those things are assets. And so the online trading is all those.
All those.
And the Capital Markets Authority in Kenya is regulating some of these.
Yes.
Which ones?
Actually, all that I've mentioned.
All these ones that we've mentioned
Yes.
are under Capital Markets Authority's regulation.
Yes.
And then you talked about licenses. So now let's talk about licenses, because you've mentioned, I think, different kinds of licenses, non-dealing license,
Yes.
online forex trading, brokerage license.
Yeah.
So under CMA, who does CMA license to do what?
All right. So on the online space, there are two licenses that are there. One, we have what we call now the online non-dealing brokerage license.
Right.
And then we have the online money managers license. So the non-dealing is purely for brokerage purposes, and that is where now companies like Scope sit in. And on the money manager side, now these are people who have been licensed, and these are separate license from what you traditionally see as fund manager license. So this for online license actually is what is mandated for people in the online space.
Only. Okay.
So, and the mechanisms for them are very different from the mechanisms for fund managers. Because you see, for fund managers, maybe they would adopt something like, a CIS, something like that. But on the money manager side, this is actually very individualized, because the operation under that is where an individual client has to go and open a trading account and then mandate the money manager to execute on their behalf. All right.
Sasa tukuje hapa kwa Mariam. Use Mariam as an example, because see, this girl's got to drive a Mac.
Right.
In
a week's time.
By next month.
Right.
Okay, sasa me push timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
So akona do hapa hivi kidogo na ngapi? Okay, usituambie.
Yeah.
So she has some cash.
Yeah.
And she wants to get into this.
Yes.
Who does she approach? Does she approach the one with an online non-dealing license?
Okay.
Or does she go to the online money manager's license? Or does she have to deal with both?
Good question, because the approach is dependent on, one, your knowledge. See, when you can be able to go and you want to do it yourself, you can go and open an account with a brokerage firm directly.
Okay.
All right? And while at it, you can still have an additional account and approach a money manager for that specific account. So you see, in that way, you've done both. There are those who have no idea, but they want to get into this. So they will go and look for a licensed money manager firm, all right, and open an account with them, and they'll be guided on how they get papered into to start their trading journey. So those are two scenarios that are available under the law. Yes. Yeah.
The regulation bit is okay. I think we're good on the who is regulated.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the part for who is in my corner, who should I be looking for, still needs a little bit more explanation.
All right.
So that we know, because let's walk the journey together.
Yeah.
I have that, let's say I've put aside 250 for investments or whatever. I would like to triple, quadruple. I know it's wishful thinking, but let's go with that. I'm thinking, okay, I want to go into online trading of some sort. Where do I begin?
All right. So it begins by the first question. Do you want to do this yourself?
Great question.
So
Do I have the capacity?
Yeah.
do you have the knowledge?
So first you need the knowledge. You need to know what this thing is.
Yes. Because that is what will guide you.
Do you need to know what dollars are, or do you need to know how to sell dollars? I mean, when you say knowledge, can I say knowledge?
Knowledge is
I know oil.
yeah.
Fair point. You need the knowledge of trading. You need to know how do you pick an asset? How do you analyze the asset? All right? But when you find yourself you're falling short of this knowledge, then there is a purview for you to go to a licensed money manager. All right?
Yes.
But when you tell yourself, I want to learn this. I want to start. I want to do this by myself,
Right.
because I want to, in a month's time. So you decide, all right, I'll be patient with myself. I'll learn the basics, so that you still go ahead and open an account, and get yourself through yourself, in the market. Start small. You understand. You learn. The good thing is everything is tech, and there's so much information that learning is available for you across various other platforms, including YouTube. All right. So when you're there, you decide now. I've seen all these, but my interest now lies more in gold. All right, and you'll be like, all right, maybe you want to do gold because maybe your grandfather left you a few.
Something.
So you relate
you're
with
from
gold.
Koloman.
Yes.
You have a mine.
Yeah.
Your backyard.
So that's something relatable to you and something of interest.
Right.
Now you go and understand the market patterns. What's the best time to trade this? How do you trade it? What is the risk exposure for me? How do I de-risk myself? what are the things I need to look at in terms of, trends and all that. Because you need to understand that all these markets, the reason why there's this big fascination around online is because of the opportunity that is there. When we are asleep, markets are still moving.
Right.
When our local stock exchange closes, other markets are still moving. The market movement for, I would say, global market movement is, I would say, 5 times, 10 times, or even times, 100 times what we're doing locally here.
Wow.
So when it comes to the market volume in terms of money that is moving around in a day, we're talking of upwards of, say, 5 trillion in a day. So that is why people are going, and that is why people are very keen to get themselves exposed to this.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
It's also how people get caught, because I hear numbers like that and I'm like, what do you mean?
Right.
What do you mean? That's how. Yes, that's what just if I got 0.0001% of that, hapo ndio.
Because I think
No,
him
Mocha.
talking about the opportunity, I'm also curious to know what is the missed opportunity? What's the misfortune side? What does it look like when you fail at it, and when should you decide to pull back? I think we're going into a break.
Right. But when we come back, we definitely have to look at that side, right?
Yes.
So that we understand, the opportunities and the risks thereof. And to your point, I think the reason why so many people are getting caught up is because everybody starts a YouTube channel and they're like, I'm going to teach you trading. I'm going to teach you this. I'm going to, on what authority? You know, alafu hivyo ndio mnaingia kwa scheme up. We'll be right back after this break. If you have any questions, hashtag is Fixing the Nation. Of course, we're on NFM, on Nation TV, of course, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Ask any questions you have for Robin. We'll be right back. We're getting back into our conversation with Robin Hood.
Many comments.
Right?
Tibbs Muge is saying, trading is all about people. He quotes that. He says, can you ask the guest this, whether this is true? How deep is the dark pool?
And the very last question he asks there, the risk of online trading to an individual is that online trading is inherently gambling.
Accept the first before moving forward.
Asking that because that's...
It's inherently gambling.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's according to Tibbs Muge.
Thomas Osoro says, ask our guest why most people entering into this venture end up disappointed, and most of them commit suicide after losing a lot of money.
Okay. So maybe to start with the first one.
Okay. This is all about people.
No, there's more to it. Because, markets are moved by a lot of things. Demand and supply, for a fact, yes, is because of people. But economics or economies grow definitely because of the work of the people. But market patterns are also, or markets are also, affected by other things, including natural calamities that are not, about people, but they affect the people. About gambling, no, it's not gambling, simply because this is a financial asset. And when you're speculating, remember it's a game of probability, all right? So when you toss a coin, there are 2 options. It's 50-50, right? Could either be heads or tails. So when you're getting into the market, it's the same, because when you say, for example, go and buy an asset, the first risk is, of course, you could lose because of the price movement of that asset. However...
But Robin, gambling is also a game of probability.
But who
Just roll
controls
the dice, man.
Yeah, but,
Could be 1 or 6.
Yeah, but who determines?
The probability.
Yes. You see, that could have somebody determining the probability, unlike the market that is not an individual determining the outcome. And that is where, learning again comes in, because what you're doing is you're positioning yourself at the right place, or with the right asset at the right time. And you're now giving yourself time as well to, experience the full return of what it is that you're looking for. And also you're telling yourself, if it doesn't go my way, this is how far I would want to go. And I remember your question around, I think, which was about something around risk, what you can lose and all that. One of the beautiful things in the platforms that we have in the modern world is they're risk tools, or they're risk calculators that help you determine if this was not to go my way,
Right.
how far or how much do I want to lose? Remember, the first disclaimer usually on trading is do not invest, not even in trading, even investing. Do not invest what you cannot afford to lose.
Yeah.
So by the time you're losing, it's not something that is going to offset your lifestyle. It's not something that is going to take you back to Moshava,
Invest in your disposable cash.
Yes.
Let's say.
Yes.
When I see people trading, not online, but in the securities exchange, those brokers will talk about very many things. When they're advising you buy this share, they'll come with what they call the fundamentals.
Yes.
The fundamentals around this company are, right? It's a power generating company, it's a power distribution company, it's a mobile network operator, it's a sugar company. These are the fundamentals of that company. Over the last X number of years, how has the market looked like? How have the rain patterns looked like? How has all those things that they say, based on this, then we can see a likelihood that this company is going to turn a profit.
Yep.
There's a new board, there's a new management. Based on these things, there's a likelihood that this company is likely to turn a profit, so you can invest here.
Yep.
And we are taking a chance, but it's a calculated chance.
Yes.
Now, when you're doing this online trading, do you have those fundamentals at your disposal?
Yes, you do. And actually, yes, you do. And the beautiful thing is there's so much data that actually you go back historically and look at, and also look at cycles that have happened for that specific asset. So, for example, you want to invest in wheat.
Yes.
Right? And or you've been investing in wheat, so you understand the patterns. You understand. You'll be very keen in watching the weather. So all these people are wondering. Nobody cares about the weather apart from this guy. And it doesn't care about the local weather. He's looking at how the winds are flowing in Europe and all that. It's simply because for him... Yeah. It's simply for him, he knows that, he's investing probably in even futures in that space. And is able to go back and tell, these were the cycles last year. These are the patterns. These are the current patterns. So I think that the productivity this year is going to be less.
Right.
So at this time, I want to be out. I want to have liquidated my positions or my asset at this time. So the same fundamental analysis apply actually on all the instruments, and more beyond fundamentals, because they keep changing. The other things we call price action or price patterns. And these ones are now demonstrated on the charts on the platforms, all right? And this is where you're able to go back and understand that prices levels. And traders will always, you always hear traders talking about, analysis, like 3 key determinants of making a decision if you want to buy or sell an asset. So you need to do the fundamental analysis, you need to do the technical analysis, and something that we call sentiment analysis. So the technical analysis speak about price. It shows you price patterns. It shows you this was the highest level. Do you know that as we speak today, gold is at its highest level?
Gold
is at its highest price, lifetime price. Ever. Today as we speak, I think it's at 2,950
Per what?
Per
ounce.
wow.
All right?
Ounce
That's the highest it has been.
By atujwangi that other system.
Hii mambo ya kipimo ya miles, kilometer.
Ounce najaribu kufikiria na kg. Wacha niangalie.
you can assess the risk.
Oh yes. So now
Actively.
Yes, now this is where now the risk comes in, because once you understand, you've looked at your price action, you've looked at your fundamentals, you've checked what now Erica said, like say what has Trump said about this in his last couple of speech, or tariff wars and all those kind of things, and at that point you go back also to the third level of analysis and sentiment, and you look at what's the market sentiment for this, and now at that point you decide, okay, this is because maybe there is a mismatch between maybe my fundamentals position and my technical positions, I'll start small and I'll take a risk market movement, say 10 points or 30 points, and I want to be out if it retraces more than 30 points. Now, that is a mitigation that you've put on your investment because you already have a number and you have a figure in mind, because this 30 points movement could be, say, $300, could be $100, or could be $5, depending with how much volume you're buying as well. Right. And again, now you go to the upside and say, if it goes my way, you know, I want to get out of the market at this number of points or at this specific price, or once I achieve this specific price. So now the rest is a journey. The rest is now psychology, because the market doesn't move in a straight line. So it could go down a bit, you know, and you decide, hey, no, it's going to get to my level. Right. And then it bounces back. So this is where psychology comes in.
So here the risk is in how you apply your knowledge.
Yes.
And that becomes like a skill.
Yes.
How then you apply that trade with the skills that you have.
Yes.
How about the other risk from somebody who walks around the villages telling people that I am in online trading, bring money, I'm going to help you grow your money, grow your wealth? How does one tell who is legit, who is not? Because
I think the village here is Instagram.
Everywhere. By the time I get all these, skill, I'll be getting the skill, yes. But I also want to participate in trading. Maybe I want to come to a guy called Robert comes and tells me, no, check him as me. I've been doing this thing for a while. Hey, Gary, you know, last year, you know, I've helped guys, you know, so and so. I'm the one who's been sorting him out. How do I know that this is a legit approach? This is a regulated one, and this is not. And how do I use the Capital Markets Authority to
help
advantage?
You make your decision?
Yes.
That's a good question. So first off is, anything flashy, keep off.
Anything flashy?
Anything flashy, keep off. Simply because, you know what people say about old money, you know, and...
Pesa haipigi kelele.
Bas.
Pesa haitaki kelele. There's a Luo saying for it, I forgot.
There's a difference between coins and notes.
Oh. Chingy.
Yes. So, but back to the question is, anybody who's promising you any ridiculous return, or do 10% for you in a week, or do this, that is a lie. When it comes to online trading, Forex is the only, you know, asset class that is actually declared in terms of performance on a daily basis, where everything else is declared on an annual basis. Right. You get. So this is a daily performance. Well, yes, you could be able to do as much. You cannot guarantee the performance, or you cannot guarantee a return. So anybody guaranteeing, first, it's a red flag. So the next thing is, where are they channeling you to? You know, are they channeling you to open your own individual account where you have control of your money, where you can be able to access your money at any given time, day or night? Or are they telling you, you know, send me this to my M-Pesa, you know, we will work it out, you know, run away.
Run away from that.
Okay.
Is this somebody actually taking you to a regulated entity to open up an account? Or is he telling you, oh, you know, forget about Kenyan brokers, you know, let's go offshore, you know, there we can send with, you know, all manner of, you know, already you're in deep waters. But when they're able now to channel any conversation that they want, because I'm assuming this is somebody who has come to help you, amekuja kukutoa block. You see, you also you need to listen. Usikie unatolewaje block. But if the block is not following the CMA route in terms of telling you, okay, let's work with local broker, I've interacted with this and this, you know, these ones are fair in pricing, these ones are, you know, if he's not channeling you to a regulated local entity, he's already pushing you out of there, you know.
Is there an example of a get-rich-quick online trading scheme
Oh,
that
yeah.
was exposed, and what lessons we can learn from it?
Yeah, I go back to the Limuru. I'm sure Eric, you must know this. There was a Limuru, $1 billion or $2 billion scam back in.
Where?
Connie, you were there?
Eric has been on Gen Z. That's why he's just like, you must know this.
When I was Gen Z.
What was happening in Lemuru?
I know what was happening.
I see what happened. Limuru billion scam.
Yeah,
What happened?
let it be his word.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Let me.
So tuangalie Lemuru.
Kulienda, how investors were conned 1 billion shillings by Kiambu couple. It was on the Business Daily on the 23rd of December 2020. A Kiambu couple defrauded thousands of investors by promising to double their cash deposits, only to later disappear and close shop after collecting more than 1 billion shillings. The couple is named here. The owners of online forex trading firm allegedly told clients that they would use their capital to trade stocks in internationally listed companies, but fell back on the promise soon as the money had been deposited into their account. 122 investors had lodged a class action suit against the forex trader seeking compensation for their money, which they claim has not matured 1 year after deposit, despite a guarantee that they would receive dividends on their cash within a month. They claim to have paid a total of 77 million shillings to VIP portal, but police records say the suspected fraudsters at one time had more than $1 billion deposits in their account.
So that is
One
one of the incidents.
And
you
it
know,
was,
and
they were promising to invest offshore.
What happened?
when you look at the time of when that happened, this is part of what really drove CMA to create regulations, because they would be able to guide Kenyans correctly. At that point, you could imagine anybody who came and told you that they can do, even if it's what percentage in a year, when everybody back then knew that the only way to invest is put a bank deposit, fixed deposit, something like that.
Right.
If you told them anything bigger and better than that, they'll be ready. You understand?
Yeah. And
they didn't care at that time, because again, when you look at information now, accessibility of information now, and back then it was not there. And looking at it now, it would be very hard to go and tell Kenyans or fix Kenyans into such. It still happens.
Well, it happened in
It still
Eldoret
happens
last year.
it still happens. And this is why I always advocate for more resources for CMA, to make awareness around this kind of investment.
Yes.
Let it be very clear, let it be black and white, so that people understand and people know, so that we don't get this
Being pulled into
conversations all the time.
True.
The problem with trading is the more you think you get the skill, the more you think you need more capital. And then you start thinking, okay, I've pulled a few of my friends, I think we could do big.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, it spills now from there, and it becomes bigger and bigger, untamable. And by the event that the market doesn't go your way and you suffer losses, it becomes a very painful conversation from
because
there.
it's multiplied to many. Is there a portal by the Capital Markets Authority where I can check all the licensed
Yes.
traders? What is that?
Actually, on the CMA,
That's on the CMA website.
yes. When you go to the list of licensees, you'll be able to see they've briefed them into different categories. There are stockbrokers, there are online brokers, there are fund managers,
Like that. So you can go
investment
look
banks.
for
Yes,
something
actually
specific.
they are listed there. Right now, we only have 10 licensed online non-dealing brokerage firms. There are only 10. Back in 2017, there's only one. Over time, we've been able to evolve, and we have 10. We have 3 licensed money managers on the portal, from the CMA portal. So those are anything outside of that, is already murky.
You're already taking a big risk. I want
Yes.
to pick up on a question from, a comment actually from Renee Jones, who said, Forex is discipline. Gambling is basically trying to predict. A very small part of Forex is predicting where the price will go.
Yep.
Risk management is everything in that you have to know when to close. When do you close? I think that's a great place to know. How do you know when to close?
You gotta know.
Well,
Yep. Know when to fold.
no, we said we are not singing. They said.
We're fixing the no.
Okay.
the vocals.
Well, there has to be, you have to make a number for yourself every time because you know what is at stake. So, for example, if you have $10,000 that you're trading, you need to tell yourself, I do not want to lose more than, say, 1% or 10%. What does that equate to? If you have $10,000, 10% is $1,000 you get. So you have a hard stop, and you tell yourself, if it gets to $1,000, regardless, I'm out. You see, you've been left with $9,000 that you can bounce back with.
Right.
Now, the problem with human beings, it's not actually Kenya, but
It's
human
global.
beings.
It's
Yeah.
a human.
It's a global
Problem.
discipline. Let me tell you, trading is other than military. The discipline in trading is, I mean, if you can be disciplined with money, you can be disciplined with anything else.
Okay.
They say food, but I would say start with money and see how that goes. Because greed is part of human nature. So every time, even if you go now and make, say, $100 today, you want to make 200. You want to make 500. Before you know it, you want to make the same 10,000 the same day. And that is where, you know, you're caught up. Give yourself time. So Warren Buffett has this quote that the market is actually is there to take money from the impatient, you know. And what it means is there's so much noise in the market every minute, every hour. But are you that patient actually to, you know, look beyond the noise and let it settle and, you know, because by the time it's actually maybe hitting your hard stop, you really now can tell the actual direction you get. And based on your, you know, your skill, with your 9,000 that is now remaining, you know, you can use that to bounce back. Or you will need to make 10 others, several attempts, you know, losing for you to have actually lost all your, yeah.
At least there's a journey.
Yes.
I've gone to the website of the Capital Markets Authority, cma.or.ke, and here it is. So there's a drop-down menu, and that drop-down menu then brings you into licensees and market players.
Yep.
So under this, look at that. So there are very many approved institutions, derivatives and brokers, investment banks, non-dealing online foreign exchange broker. Is that one?
Yes.
The online foreign exchange money manager. That's another one?
Yes.
Down here, there is dealing online foreign exchange broker.
Yes.
Who else is in this in particular market?
So those are the three
Those three.
major, yes. But when you open maybe now the non-dealing,
Non-dealing. When I open it, now it brings now the licensed ones.
yes.
Ah.
And actually the
Plus
CME is
their
very
website.
nice. You know, CME is very nice. They've even put a website for you so that you don't go and
So you don't see it your name,
get a typo.
and then you
Right.
get
Yeah.
another.
And then you've been redirected somewhere else.
Yes.
It shows you just the company, the address of the registered address of the company.
Yeah.
What does number mean? License number.
That's the license number, yes.
And that. So these are now those that non-dealing.
Yes.
If I come to the dealing, again, just for purposes of understanding, what's the difference between the non-dealing online forex broker and the dealing online forex broker?
So there's something called market making. So the dealing individuals are mandated to market make. Well, for us, we do not market make. The non-dealing, you're simply supposed to actually STP all your orders. So STP means it's a straight-through process to the market or to a liquidity provider or to a market maker. So we do not create these prices, from our platform. You know, we get them from a regulated entity, which is now a dealing platform. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And then now the last one that you need to show Kenyans
The
is
online foreign exchange.
yes,
This one.
the money managers now.
Money manager.
Yeah.
So we have 3 that have been licensed by the Capital Markets Authority.
Yeah.
So only these 3. So what do? They are money managers. That's why the money stays. Those are the ones who pay.
So the money managers now are mandated to execute on your behalf. So you simply have a profit, a performance share or performance fee, and a management fee. So whatever they make on your behalf, you keep your money and you pay them a certain fee.
In case of loss?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think you need to understand the risks before that. But I think they pay on profit.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I get the money out?
You see, already you open an account with a brokerage firm first. All right? Or whichever you open with, your money sits with a brokerage firm. And the brokerage firm you have access to your money directly. So when you want to opt out of a management, kind of a mandate, you simply withdraw your money. You send a request and you withdraw your money.
Okay.
All right. There could be other nuances around that based on, the terms and conditions for the different money managers that you're dealing with. There are those who have a lock-in period, say 6 months, 1 year or something like that.
All right.
So you use that.
Thank you. Gosh, so much to unpack.
Oh, yes.
Very helpful, though. I think you've broken it down. So now it's really the audience will be the judge of where they decide to move next.
Sure.
Before we come back and fully say goodbye, I think Jackson will cross over to Mwikali. Today they're talking about what should be the maximum age gap between couples. Hey, Mwikali, I have many questions myself. Tell us what to expect in today's discussion.
Hey.
Yes, go ahead.